Hello, and welcome to this session on IBM watsonx Orchestrate, illustrating how to put AI agents to work for automating complex workflows and processes. My name is Chris Nystrom. I'm a Principal Partner Technical Specialist supporting the IBM Data Platform, and I support Logicalis, an IBM resale partner sponsoring this virtual briefing. At the end of today's presentation, I invite you to take advantage of an IBM Logicalis sponsored workshop to discuss how you can leverage AI agents for workflow automation in your organization. So let's cover the agenda for today's presentation. This session will include an overview of watsonx Orchestrate, including a brief demonstration of watsonx Orchestrate for agentic workflow automation, explaining how you can leverage AI agents for automating processes like HR onboarding, sales prospecting, IT service management, procurement, customer self-service, and other agentic use cases. I hope you find today's content informative. Let's define an AI agent. An AI agent is an autonomous software system that perceives its environment, reasons, plans, and acts to achieve specific goals, often using large language models and other AI to handle complex, multi-step tasks with minimal human intervention, acting like intelligent digital assistants for things like data analysis, coding, or customer service. Agents differ from simple chatbots by having autonomy. That is, the ability to use tools, learn from outcomes, and orchestrate workflows across different applications to complete objectives. Let's see watsonx Orchestrate in action, addressing use cases for workflow automation during a brief demonstration. So here we see the watsonx Orchestrate UI. And what we're going to do is we're going to take on a couple different roles across functions within the organization to illustrate how we can leverage AI agents for workflow automation. The first role we're going to take on is a new employee at IBM. And I'd like to actually understand what health plans IBM offers. So within the UI, I'm going to leverage the HR agent to address a question I have about those health plans. I simply type in the question I have about the existing health plans, and it's going to then reason and leverage those AI agents within watsonx Orchestrate and the knowledge that it's leveraging to help me understand what plans are available for me so I can see the plan type, the key features, and who the plan is best suited for. Wonderful. Now what I would like to do is understand, as a new employee, when can I enroll in my benefits? Because I certainly want to do it on a timely basis. So once again, I ask the question, and the agent will provide the response for me. So think about all of the HR questions that your employees ask and how you can automate those tasks leveraging AI agents with IBM watsonx Orchestrate. This is just a couple examples, but you can imagine all the employees in your organization asking those questions instead of actually with an AI agent versus asking an HR human. All right, so here I can see that I have 30 days from my hire date to enroll in the benefit plan. All right, so the last thing I want to do is I want to make sure that my emergency contact is accurate within the HR system. So let's validate that. So what we're doing now is we're leveraging the agent to connect to the backend HR system and provide that information to me. We define those connections within watsonx Orchestrate, as you'll see in a couple of minutes when we actually go in and show you how you can build one of these agents. So I can verify my emergency contact, and this is accurate. Sarah is the individual that I have designated. She is my spouse, and I can move on at this point. So let's take on another role with the HR agent as a manager. And I'd like to get the latest expense reports for my team so I can review those reports and approve them. So I'm going to ask for my latest expense reports. The agent knows who I am through authentication, and it's going to leverage that information to provide me with the list of my team members and any outstanding expense reports that need to be reviewed and approved. And here we are. So I can see that I have a couple that are pending, many that are approved, and one that is under review. Great. Excellent. So I can take action on those. What I'd like to do now is move to another role where we're going to leverage an IT agent. So I'm going to select my Ask IT agent. And I'd like to actually understand current IT outages so I can take action if there are any IT outages. So once again, I'll type in my question, and now it's going to leverage a different agent, the Ask IT agent, and provide me with a view of any existing IT outages. And I can see that the Microsoft Teams system has an outage, and it tells me the description and when a fix should be available, as well as we have an outage with GitHub. So I can take further action, or I can wait for the fix to be put in place. But it's very easy, as you can see, to get that information leveraging this IT agent. What I'd like to do now is I'd like to create an IT support ticket because I've been having email issues. So let's do that interactively, leveraging the agent. In this scenario, once again, we're going to connect to a back-end system that handles our IT support ticketing. And you can see that the agent is ready to help, but before they submit a ticket, they want me to give a brief description of the email issue I am experiencing. So let's provide that information to them. Can't send email. Basically, it's just telling me that the email failed to send. So let's create an urgent ticket because I need to get my email up and running. So once again, it's leveraging my authentication information, knows who I am, and the description that I provided, and it connected with the backend system again through the connections I designate within watsonx Orchestrate, and it created an incident for me within the ticketing system, and I can then take some action and follow up on that to get my email up and running again. Alrighty, the third role that we're going to take is as a procurement manager, and I'm going to leverage the Ask Procurement agent for this scenario, and I really want to see my existing open purchase orders. So let's ask the agent to provide that. So it connects again to my backend system that manages my purchase orders, and I can see by PO some information about each purchase order. Let's get some details on one of those. Show me the details, or I'll just select the first PO here. All right, and there's the information about the purchase order and the actual the line item breakdown. So at this point, I can take any additional action needed for that order should I choose to. All right, the last question I want to ask is I want to get a list of the active contracts that we have. So let's request that information. And right away, we can see the active contracts with the vendors, execution date, the term ending, and the total value, along with the contract owner and the primary department. Excellent. So what you've seen here, folks, is how we can leverage AI agents within watsonx Orchestrate to perform manual tasks that historically have been done by humans, but are now automated. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. If you think about all the manual tasks that are completed throughout the organization, there's a lot of opportunity to leverage these agents. So now what I like to do is transition and give you kind of a walkthrough, an introduction to how you can actually build an agent within watsonx Orchestrate. So before we get to building the agent, I want to introduce you to the IBM watsonx catalog. So in this catalog, we have both agents, tools, and MCP servers. So these agents are pre-built for you. So if I select the agent, okay, you can see that we have about 326 out-of-the-box agents available for you to leverage for the workflow automation. Now, these are ready to use out-of-the-box AI templates that can automate complex domain-specific enterprise tasks like we just saw. And you can select any one of these and use that as a template and edit the properties of that agent and then save it as one of your personal agents. Okay. We also have tools available. So tools are essentially capabilities that you can use to start specific actions or retrieve information, like accepting a merge request in GitLab, had a comment in Google Drive. So you can see some of the examples here. And we have approximately 1,100 tools available, again, out of the box here in the catalog. And then finally, we have MCP servers. MCP is Model Context Protocol. These allow us to connect agents to external tools, enabling them to perform advanced actions beyond their core capabilities. So we can see several MCP connections, one to Box here, one to IBM Planning Analytics. So that's an introduction to the watsonx Orchestrate catalog. And when we create an agent, we can leverage the tools and the MCP servers, or we can essentially use an agent as a template. Let's actually show you how that's done. I'm going to select my account management agent. So this agent allows us to retrieve account and contact information from Salesforce. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this pre-built agent as a template to create a new agent. And at this point on the left-hand side, you can see all the properties of the agent. As I scroll down, all the properties are available here, and I can edit any or all of these properties as needed for my new agent. And on the right-hand side, we have kind of a runtime testing environment for testing the agent once I make the changes, right? And when I'm done with my editing of the properties and the testing, I can then save this agent, and at some point I would deploy that agent for production use. Okay. Alrighty, so next what I like to do is show you how you can build an agent from ground zero. When we create an agent, we have a couple options. We can create the agent from scratch. We can build it from the template, which is what you just saw from the catalog. Or perhaps we can leverage an agent that was built in LangGraph. Let's just create an agent from scratch. And I'm going to create a weather alert agent, right? So think of this agent as an AI agent I can use for, understanding the current weather in particular geolocation, temperature, etc., anything weather related. And it would connect to an external system that provides that information. All right, so when I create the agent, it provides me with, again, all of the properties for the agent. So, for example, I may want to change my welcome message. So when I make the change here on the left-hand side, I can refresh this test environment over here on the right-hand side, and right away I can see what has changed. Okay. Quick start prompts allow me to just select any one of these prompts, and that will essentially send the question to the agent. As an example, what is the current temp? So again, once I make that change, this first quick start tile will reflect that. Okay. All right, so that's welcome message, quick start prompts. If I want to add voice, I can do that. watsonx Orchestrate allows you to essentially add a voice configuration so you can interact with the agent by speaking to it as opposed to asking questions by typing them. You can add knowledge. So perhaps you want to add a connection to a Milvus or an Elasticsearch vector database, commonly used for retrieval augmented generation use cases, or perhaps a connection to an Azure DB source, OpenSearch, or potentially just uploading files, unstructured data perhaps, that you can leverage by your agent. And then here you can add those tools we talked about from the catalog, the pre-built tools, or you can build your own tools and add those. You can add additional agents. So you might have an orchestrator agent that has several agents for different tasks within a particular, organizational unit like HR or sales or IT, right? That orchestrates several agents as part of your agent build. And then you can define the behavior and the guidelines, guardrails, if you will, for the agent. And then finally, the channels that you want to leverage that agent from, like Teams or Slack, etc. So that's how you would build an agent. And this is the no-code UI to build an agent. We also have an agent development kit. We'll talk more about that when we go back to the presentation. That allows you to leverage a Python code base, for example, in an IDE to build agents and then import those into watsonx Orchestrate. All right. So we showed you how we can build agents either from templates or from scratch. We also have the ability to analyze agent activity. So as your customers interact with the agents, you can capture that interaction. As an example, I want to take a look at traces for a particular Ask Orchestrate agent. I can then drill into that trace detail and actually understand, the questions that were asked as well as what was provided in terms of a response and some other metrics that you can track that will help you make those agents more performant, right? And more relevant to your end users. So we have out-of-the-box analytics available to you. And then finally, I want to talk about how we can manage connections, for example. So we have pre-built connections, which we saw earlier in the catalog. We also have custom connections we can build. So here you can build your own connections by providing, some type of URL to the system that you want to connect to, and then the proper credentials as well. Then you can then leverage those connections in tools as you build your agents. We also have the ability to configure voice and phone. We talked a little bit about that. Phone, you might want to designate a phone connection. You can see a couple examples here for perhaps a call center, right? To leverage agents. And then finally, we have the ability to define access management for users around securing the access to the environment that you see here in the respective agents. All right. So what I'd like to do now is transition back to the presentation, and we'll talk a little bit more about watsonx Orchestrate. All right, so we'll continue our discussion starting with the evolution of AI assistants from role-based systems to generative AI-powered systems with AI agents. And if we look at the evolution of AI assistants, we started with role-based systems leveraging pattern matching, progressing to classic bots with role-augmented capabilities, providing predefined answers to simple questions using simple decision-making. Around 2020, we saw applications that leveraged generative AI models to understand context and generate tailored responses or recommendations based on an inference from the user, but didn't proactively act independent of the user interaction. In November of 2022, OpenAI released the ChatGPT chatbot to the public, which opened new possibilities for Gen AI use cases. If we look at current day, we have Gen AI powered systems that not only understand and recommend, but act and complete tasks and workflows for you leveraging AI agents. So let's focus on an example use case. Mike wants to open a bank account. Let's see how he does that with an agent and actually break down the agent's properties. Mike opens a banking assistant requesting a new savings account, and in the background is an AI-based orchestrator agent overseeing the entire agentic workflow for Mike. The orchestrator agent interacts with other agents and delegates tasks to those agents to complete the task or workflow requested by Mike. So let's take a closer look at the agents involved in opening a bank account. These include the onboarding agent, portfolio agent, compliance agent, and communications agent. And these workflow agents may leverage tools and knowledge, we talked about those in the demo, to complete their respective tasks before handing the workflow to the next agent. So let's discuss how each agent processes their respective tasks. So when we build an agent in IBM watsonx Orchestrate, we configure the agent leveraging the following. Behavior, where we define how your agent should react to user requests and workflows, defining logic in the behavior of the agent. Knowledge. This includes files or content repositories used to generate contextual response used in retrieval augmented generation use cases. Tools. Modular callable functions that allow AI agents to perform specific actions and interact with external systems, including API access, data processing, and AI services. And finally, channels. These include interfaces for the agent for communication, including Teams, Facebook Messenger, and Slack. Early investments in generative AI have laid a strong foundation, but the next frontier is scale, embedding AI into core workflows across business functions to unlock greater enterprise value. And this is where AI agents, conversational interfaces, and intelligent process automation converge to enable digital labor at scale. Market trends show a clear convergence where once siloed technologies like robotic process automation, conversational AI, and integration platforms as a service are rapidly integrating. RPA vendors are expanding into intelligent document processing, process mining, and digital assistance. Meanwhile, conversational AI platforms are incorporating APIs, RPA connectors, and document ingestion, transforming from point solutions into broader automation platforms. At the center of this convergence is IBM watsonx Orchestrate, a platform purpose-built to unify these evolving capabilities. It brings together AI agents, conversational experiences, and automation into a single system, enabling businesses to streamline tasks, scale productivity, and reduce operational complexity. For example, an HR department can automate onboarding by combining pre-built agents, natural language interfaces, and system integrations, all orchestrated within one platform. Sound familiar? We saw some of that in the demonstration with the HR agent. IBM watsonx Orchestrate is designed to help enterprises extract maximum business value from AI, accelerate deployment, and simplify the full agent lifecycle, from discovery and orchestration to monitoring and optimization. This is anchored on 4 core pillars: orchestration, flexibility, speed to value and governance, and observability. Let's start with agentic AI orchestration. This is what differentiates watsonx Orchestrate from traditional automation platforms or isolated co-pilots. Instead of automating a single task or operating within a single system, watsonx Orchestrate serves as a control plane across the enterprise. It connects agents to the right systems, APIs, and data sources, and maintains context throughout the process. This structure eliminates fragmentation and brings coherence to what would otherwise be disconnected AI efforts. Second, we have build and optimize agents. Build agents quickly with a no-code user interface. We saw that again in the demonstration. Or you can leverage the ProCode Agent Development Kit supporting IBM Bob, a software development lifecycle app, Langflow, Model Context Protocol, and agent-to-agent capabilities, giving developers complete control over the building process. Third, we have fast time to production. Speed is a competitive differentiator. We know this. IBM watsonx Orchestrate offers pre-built agents and tools for high-value areas like HR onboarding, benefit support, sales qualification, and supplier onboarding. And all of these agents and tools are available in a searchable catalog, ready to deploy, configure, and scale. With watsonx Orchestrate, it's possible to go from initial concept to a functioning integrated agent in minutes, not months. And then finally, we have governed and secure multi-agent systems. So watsonx Orchestrate makes every agent action policy aware and auditable, including least privilege access, role-based controls, human in the loop for sensitive steps, and guardrails. With observability, you get real-time health and cost views, including success rates, latency, spend, plus full traces and lineage to debug, replay, or roll back. Model governance has built-in quality checks, drift bias monitoring, and gated promotions aligned to enterprise compliance. watsonx Orchestrate is an open, pluggable framework for building agents however you need, including Model Context Protocol, APIs, chat completions, or an agent gateway. And those agents can plug into the tools, channels, and apps you already use, including Copilot, Salesforce, Slack, and internal apps, rather than forcing you into a single UX or stack. The key point is that we meet your architecture where it is, so you can build enterprise-grade agents on top of your existing systems, models, and infrastructure. watsonx Orchestrate sits in the middle and routes work between all your agents, tools, apps, and data sources. No matter which model you use, including OpenAI, Claude, Grok, or which agents you've already built, Orchestrate coordinates them into a single coherent workflow. Instead of a set of disconnected assistants, you get a unified orchestration layer that makes them behave like one system. watsonx Orchestrate isn't just about wiring agents together, it's about safely operating and governing them at scale across the enterprise. So let's learn more about the watsonx Orchestrate Agent Catalog. Accelerating time to value is a top priority for enterprises investing in AI. To support this, IBM provides a robust catalog of pre-built AI agents and tools, curated to deliver immediate impact and scale across key business domains. These include our pre-built domain agents, over 800 domain-focused tools, and 28 pre-built app connectors. The agent and tool catalog in watsonx Orchestrate enables enterprise teams to quickly discover, deploy, and customize a wide range of IBM-developed, partner-contributed, and client-specific agents. Delivered through an intuitive interface, the catalog simplifies the agent building process by offering reusable components that are ready to integrate into enterprise workflows. Each catalog entry includes detailed metadata outlining the agent's capabilities, underlying tools, and integration points. And this enables teams to evaluate fit, tailor configurations, and align agents with specific business requirements. Agents can also be saved as templates to streamline future customization and deployment efforts. These pre-built agents are the result of more than 7 years of applied AI innovation, refined through real-world client deployments across domains such as HR, procurement, finance, and customer support. They are optimized for high-value automation use cases, offering rapid return on investment while maintaining enterprise-grade quality, governance, and scalability. With watsonx Orchestrate, clients gain immediate access to a growing ecosystem of intelligent agents, enabling faster deployment, improved productivity, and more consistent outcomes across the business. So here is just a quick view of the domains, including healthcare, customer care, supply chain, and use cases covered across our watsonx Orchestrate pre-built and partner agent ecosystem for workflow automation, including the business impact of each. And you can see here how IBM business partners are really enriching watsonx Orchestrate to make a formidable pre-built offering highly tailored to the areas we see customers benefiting from. Let's talk about the no-code agent builder. So again, you saw this in the demo. This is an integrated end-to-end solution for building, configuring, and managing AI agents directly within watsonx Orchestrate. Purpose-built for line of business users, subject matter experts, and knowledge workers, the agent builder eliminates the need for development skills, making it simple to create agents grounded in business knowledge. These agents can be connected to enterprise tools, other agents, knowledge sources, and behavior guidelines, enabling them to plan, act, and reflect effectively on their tasks. Within the agent builder, users can add tools from the catalog or build new ones using the low-code flow editor. They can import APIs or Python code to create custom tools. Add other agents as collaborators to build multi-agent workflows. They can sequence tools and user actions into guided flows to achieve specific business outcomes. And support a range of scenarios, including ad hoc tasks, single or multi-user flows, and human-in-the-loop processes like approvals or document review. Additional features include drag-and-drop support for OpenAI docs and code snippets, specialized agents for runtime tasks such as data mapping, integrated playback and debugging tools to test and refine agent behavior, seamless access to advanced workflow capabilities, all within a unified agent building experience. Agents built using Agent Builder can be deployed directly into AI chat interfaces and published to the agent catalog. Lifecycle management is included with features such as usage analytics, status indicators, and change logs, ensuring full visibility and control across the agent experience. Agentic workflows are specialized tools that allow agents to run a sequence of activities with a single reusable structure. And these activities include calling tools, prompting for user input, logical code blocks, or branching logic. Rather than handling each step individually, agents can start an agentic workflow to manage the entire process from beginning to end. Agentic workflows are ideal for tasks that require coordination across systems or multiple decision points. As an example, an agentic workflow can be created to handle customer onboarding, collecting information, creating accounts, sending welcome emails, and notifying internal teams. And once built, this agentic workflow can be reused across departments, triggered by agents whenever a new customer joins, with no need to manually coordinate each step. As you build agents, you may decide to leverage the voice modality in watsonx Orchestrate Agent Builder. Looking at this conceptual architecture, we see an end user's path taking them through Watson speech to text, then moving on to a large language mode for processing and response generation, and back to the user through Watson text to speech. This is a very traditional architecture to which we are adding different partners on the speech-to-text side like DeepGram in 11 Labs and DeepGram for text-to-speech. This comes with enormous benefits and really expands the number of languages we can support, allowing for multilingual voice agents and providing access to a wide variety of voices so there is more personalization for enterprise voice deployments. In addition, there is work underway to support a wider basket of call center as a service providers, from our current Genesis connection, expanding this reach to Five9, Twilio, Amazon Connect, and others, as well as making this omni-channel, so the same agent that can talk on voice can also communicate across Slack, WhatsApp, SMS, Teams, and embedded chat, as well as deploying these agents anywhere across SaaS and on-premises. While watsonx Orchestrate prioritizes accessibility through no-code experiences, IBM also fully supports deep development use cases with the Agent Development Kit, or ADK. The ADK is a comprehensive toolkit empowering enterprises and development teams to build highly specialized AI agents and tools from scratch. Developers can stand up a local development platform of watsonx Orchestrate and respective server on their laptop, enabling them to build, test, and deploy agents directly into watsonx Orchestrate with full support for CI/CD and GitOps workflows, making it ideal for teams practicing modern DevOps. Built for flexibility and power, the ADK provides everything needed in a single kit, making it easy to develop agents with fine-grained control of logic, data handling, and behavior, build and integrate custom tools using Python or OpenAPI specifications, streamline integration with external platforms and services, use local dev environments to prototype, iterate, and deploy confidently, and seamlessly plug into enterprise-grade DevOps pipelines. The ADK is open source, giving teams the freedom to adapt and extend it to meet their unique needs. Langflow is a powerful tool that enables developers to visually design, test, and deploy AI applications using a drag-and-drop interface. Langflow comes bundled with the watsonx Orchestrate ADK. So any Langflow flow you create can be imported into your watsonx Orchestrate environment and used as a tool by your agents. Let's talk about IBM Bob. IBM Bob is an agentic AI-powered development partner designed to accelerate the software lifecycle, providing context-aware coding assistance, automating testing and documentation directly within the IDE. IBM Bob is integrated with watsonx Orchestrate. It sets up the Python project, builds and validates model context protocol tools. It deploys the tools and creates an agent that uses those tools in watsonx Orchestrate. You'll learn how to complete all the tasks without any manual work, only giving Bob approvals at key steps. The goal of Bob is to help developers move from an idea to production faster with less manual work and fewer context switches. IBM Bob provides full visibility, speed, automation, and best practices without sacrificing control or quality. As your software development lifecycle partner, IBM Bob works with your integrated development environment and understands the repository and project context, so every interaction feels like working with a teammate. So let's wrap up our presentation discussing how IBM and our customers have leveraged watsonx Orchestrate for workflow automation. IBM's Client Zero, or Workflow Automation Initiative, has served as a large-scale proving ground for its watsonx AI and automation technologies, generating an estimated $4.5 billion in productivity savings by the end of 2025. By testing these solutions internally across over 70 workflows, including HR, finance, sales, procurement, and IT support, IBM has simplified complex operations and transitions employees toward higher value strategic work. We leverage this experience and success when we develop the pre-built agents and tools powered with business logic and integration developed with the watsonx Orchestrate agent catalog. These pre-built agents provide an immediate value proposition by allowing organizations to automate complex, multi-step workflows such as SAP SuccessFactors recruitment tasks or Salesforce lead management without the need for custom coding or ripping and replacing existing infrastructure. Here, we see several real-world examples of how clients across industries are leveraging IBM watsonx Orchestrate to drive efficiency, reduce errors, and enhance employee and customer satisfaction. Avid Solutions reduced the time it takes to onboard new customers by 25%, driving increased customer satisfaction. Dun & Bradstreet was able to reduce the time to complete procurement tasks by 10 to 20%, leading to significant cost savings for the organization. And these case studies demonstrate the versatility and impact of watsonx Orchestrate across various sectors, showcasing its ability to transform business processes and deliver tangible results. So how do you get started with watsonx Orchestrate? Let's review some options. Let's define 3 clear paths for clients to begin their journey with IBM watsonx Orchestrate. You can sign up for a free trial, explore the platform hands-on, test out features, and beginning value with a no-risk environment. You can request a client briefing, and this is a tailored session where IBM and Logicalis experts walk through use cases, industry examples, and product capabilities that align to your specific needs and objectives. And then finally, you can participate in a proof of concept, pilot, or MVP. And this is a collaborative working session designed to help identify a high-impact use case. From there, IBM and Logicalis can help advance the idea into a POC pilot and ultimately a full production deployment based on the bootcamp outcome. So thanks for joining me today for an introduction to IBM watsonx Orchestrate, focusing on agentic workflow automation. Please contact your local Logicalis account representative to get started.